First, the rally to restore honor. Now the rally to restore courage. Glenn Beck gives us the inside scoop on why he's taking a stand for the Jewish state. Plus, the 700 Club is going to the dogs. Vet Marty Becker shares his top tips for keeping your pet looking like a champ, with a little help from Blue and Ginger.
Well, that's going to be a great show. We've got Glenn Beck talking about why he's going to Israel and what's going to happen. And, well, at least he's going to have a rally over there. And we've also got Blue. Blue now has 2,400 Facebook friends. He is getting to be a star.
He sure is.
Yeah.
Who else is a star, Pat? Go ahead and say it.
Blue's puppy?
Ginger, my little Ginger.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
All
right. Well, I don't know whether there's stars in Washington. You know, it's one thing to be dedicated to a cause. It's another thing to be a fanatic. And I'm afraid some of the freshmen who've gone into Congress are so set on their way that they might blow up a potential deal. You know, you have to slice the bread one slice at a time. You don't eat the whole loaf. You slice it a little bit at a time. And the Republicans are getting their way if they don't blow it. But there may be a glimmer of hope for a deal that could end that deadlock over the debt ceiling. The House is going to vote today on a new plan from Speaker Boehner.
But did you know this, Pat, that the Democrats actually say they'll reject it? But some believe that the House and the Senate may reach a compromise. Heather Sells has that story.
The Speaker reportedly laid down the law with his fellow GOPers, telling them he can't get the job done unless they're behind him. And the tough talk might just have worked.
I've moved from lean no to undecided to lean yes. It's just a matter of we've got to take what we can get.
I'm a conservative, and you guys say I'm a pretty hardline conservative. And as I said, I'm going to support this.
The tension within the Republican Party right now is clear.
Armageddon happens at midnight, August 3, is not simply the case. It is not true.
It's unfair. It's bizarro. And maybe some people who have only been in this body for 6 or 7 months or so really believe that. Others know better.
A very healthy fear that the U.S. credit rating will take a hit is helping to motivate lawmakers. A top official with Standard & Poor's warned Wednesday that the country's rating could be lowered if it doesn't come up with a plan to tackle America's ballooning national debt.
There has to be a credible plan to reduce the debt burden as well as reduce the deficit level.
The president has been taking heat for not coming up with a plan of his own, but that hasn't stopped him from threatening to veto Boehner's plan. One reason the president wants the debt ceiling raised through 2013 to avoid a bitter fight right before elections. Still, both sides are also fully aware that Wall Street is becoming anxious. On Wednesday, the Dow dropped nearly 200 points and appeared headed for its worst week in nearly a year. Many analysts think the odds of a U.S. default are slim. Their real concern is that the U.S. will lose its AAA credit rating, and a downgraded rating could lead to higher interest rates on all kinds of loans. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Thanks, Heather. I don't think it's so much the AAA rating. You know, those phony bonds that were put out during the just before the debt crisis were all AAA, and there was a bunch of garbage that had AAA stamps on it. So I don't know that AAA is the big thing, but what is the big thing is our status as the issuer of reserve currency for the world. And the Bretton Woods Agreement, the idea was our currency was linked to gold, and the rest of the country played off of us. And somebody said, gold is the sun, you're the moon, and we're going to be the stars revolving around you. Well, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard during his administration, and we've been having trouble ever since. So our dollar is a piece of paper that's called a Federal Reserve note. And look at the dollars or the 5s or 10s or 100s or whatever you've got in your wallet and see what it says. It says Federal Reserve note. It used to say gold certificate, it used to say silver certificate. Now it says Federal Reserve. So it's a promise to pay, and nobody thinks the U.S. is going to default, but the nations of the world are going to say, you aren't capable any longer of having the reserve currency of the world. And we're going to find some other type of currency, whether it's a basket of currencies, whether it's based on commodities and the Swiss franc or the krona or whatever. But something else is going to happen, and that's what's really going to hurt us. And the rating agencies aren't so much concerned about a debt limit. That's an arbitrary thing. What they're concerned about is the reality. We are not paying our bills. We are spending 40 cents out of every dollar that's borrowed. Every dollar we spend, 40 cents is borrowed. And the world says, enough of this. Watch what's going to happen. It'll take about another year and a quarter, a year and a half, and bad things are going to happen. And I think all this is going on in Washington is really a sideshow. Lee Webb has the rest of our top stories from the CBN Newsroom. Lee?
Pat, the nation's healthcare tab is on track to hit $4.6 trillion in 9 years. That would be 20% of the U.S. economy. A report from Medicare says healthcare spending in 2020 will average $13,700 per person in the U.S. By comparison, that number will be around $8,600 per person this year. Experts say healthcare costs are rising faster than the U.S. can afford. There's a new warning about the next generation of terrorists. The commander of Special Operations Forces calls them Al-Qaeda 2.0. Admiral Eric Olson, the top SEAL, says the death of Osama bin Laden hurt Al-Qaeda, but he says the next generation could keep the U.S. fighting for another decade. Olson warns against new leaders like American-born Anwar al-Awlaki. He says they will redefine the group's message to appeal to a wider audience. Olson warns Al-Qaeda will morph and disperse. It will have fewer cave dwellers and become more westernized. The idea of a Palestinian state has been put forward as a possible path to peace in the Middle East. But a new survey from American pollster Stan Greenberg finds that most Palestinians don't like the plan. According to the Jerusalem Post, 61% reject the idea of a Palestinian state alongside Israel. Only 34% accept it. 66% believe the Palestinians should start off with their own state beside Israel, but then move to just one Palestinian state. And 92% believe Jerusalem should be the capital of Palestine. Pat?
Well, the Bible makes it very clear, Lee, that Jerusalem is going to be the sticking point. I think ultimately Israel is going to give, they're going to give on the West Bank, on territory and so forth. But when it comes to Jerusalem, they're going to say that's our capital city, it's the eternal city. It was won by King David about the year 1000 BC, and we're not going to give it up. And that's where the fight's going to be. So you look at in prophecy, look at in history, read the book of the prophet Zechariah, and also the fact that there is no battle of Armageddon. I want to tell you, Armageddon, there is no battle of Armageddon. The Bible says the forces gather at Armageddon, but then they go into Jerusalem. There is not a battle of Armageddon. The battle will be over Jerusalem, and it's coming down very close. And God is going to judge the nations of the earth who come against Israel, and we're going to see cataclysmic times. I think the world is getting ready to have a severe shaking, and this financial crisis is happening, not in America, but in Europe and all over the world. A terrible financial collapse is just the beginning of things that are going to be happening. I wish I could be more positive on this, but I am positive because the Bible says when these things happen, lift up your eyes because your Redeemer is coming. So anyhow, I lift up my eyes to look for redemption, but in this earth, it ain't gonna get better. Lee?
Pat, the Reverend John Stott has died. Stott is considered among the great evangelical thinkers of the 20th century. Along with Reverend Billy Graham, he helped craft the 1974 Lausanne Covenant, which defined the evangelical movement worldwide. In 2005, Time magazine named Stott one of the 100 most influential people in the world. He was ordained in the Church of England and served as rector of All Souls Langham Place Church in London for 25 years and remained on the staff there for 60. He also wrote numerous books, 50 in fact, including Basic Christianity. Billy Graham says the evangelical world has lost one of its greatest spokesmen, and I have lost one of my close personal friends and advisors. John Stott died in his sleep at his home in London at the age of 90. He was surrounded by friends reading the scriptures and listening to Handel's Messiah. He was a great man, Pat. I had, along with my wife, the privilege of worshiping at All Souls Langham Place a few years ago. It continues to be a beacon for gospel proclamation there in London.
Well, he was a handsome, dynamic person, and I remember in the Billy Graham Crusade in New York, way back when in the 60s, John Stott was an advisor and a key figure in the Billy Graham programs, and he was just an outstanding man, a great thinker, and a wonderful Christian. And once again, another champion of the faith has gone home to be with Jesus. We rejoice in his passing, but we're saddened the fact that we have lost another great soul and great spokesman for the gospel. Christy?
Well, how wonderful the way that, you go home with the Lord is in your sleep with scriptures being read.
And singing Handel's Messiah,
beautiful,
yeah.
Just beautiful. Well, coming up, first he held the rally to restore honor. Now he's planning the rally to restore courage. Glenn Beck gives us the inside scoop on why he's taken a stand for the Jewish state after this. Plus, this is fun. America's vet, Dr. Marty Becker, is in our green room right now, along with, look at Blue, America's favorite dog. And look, he's kissing my little Ginger. Our wonderful puppies are right there. Dr. Becker shares his secrets for raising healthy and happy dogs later on in today's show.
He's getting ready to eat Ginger.
Got a question for Pat? Send us yours now on cbn.com. We'll bring it online with your questions from our live chat room later on today's 700 Club.
Now is a good time to get a new HD TV, but did you know you need more than a cool TV to see true HD? 30% of the people watching a high-def television are not watching high-def programming.
Why would they do that?
Because you need an HD provider. Dish Network is the leader in high-def.
I'm gonna step up and check out Dish Network.
It's the biggest deal in HD entertainment. Get HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Starz free for 3 months. Packages start at just $24.99 a month, and you'll get your HD channels absolutely free for life.
Guess how much Dish Network charges you for HD?
$50?
$50? No, it's free. Free for life.
Free's better.
Free HD for life. How cool is that?
That is very cool.
I like free.
I can afford free.
Free for life.
Free for life.
Bring it.
Call today and get over 30 premium movie channels free. And with Dish Network, get free HD for life.
Free!
Free.
Bam!
I think I gotta get some Dish Network.
Awesome. How do I sign up?
Gotta go with Dish.
I want Dish Network.
Let's watch TV.
With Dish Network, get free HD for life. Call and switch to Dish Network today.
Tomorrow,
We're waiting. Go, go, go.
meet the Duggar family.
I have to go to all the bathrooms and get the laundry.
All 21 of them.
I never dreamed in a million years that all this would happen.
Go behind the scenes with the stars of 19 Kids and Counting.
It's been a lot of hard work, but much joy, much joy.
Tomorrow on the 700 Club.
Well, Glenn Beck has been the darling of many conservatives, and he had a show, I think, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on the Fox News channel, but he recently left that to launch his own GBTV, an internet-based channel. And before his new venture kicks in September, Glenn heads to Israel in August for an event called Restoring Courage. Tuesday, I spoke with Glenn about his support for Israel, about the preparations for his big multimedia event, and some of the other things on his mind.
It's time to restore courage and make a stand with the people of Israel.
Inside the walls that surround Jerusalem, and stand with people of all faiths all around the world. This August, join me for an event I have named Restoring Courage.
Well, Glenn Beck joins us now from New York with more on the Restoring Courage event. Glenn, it's good to have you back on the 700 Club.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
Fine. We've got many people in this audience who just think you're the greatest. What are you doing in Israel? What's this all about?
It was back in January, right as Tunisia was about to fall, when I said that I believe we're witnessing our Archduke Ferdinand moment, the moment that started World War I. which really kind of snowballed into World War II. And I was reading the scriptures, and I was reading Ruth and Esther, and those two books came together in my head. First, what needs to be said is, your people are my people. Where you go, I will go. Your God is my God. And we need to stand with the people of Israel. The second thing was when Mordecai said, well, you know, don't worry about it. I mean, you don't have to go in to tell the king. God will accomplish this some other way, but it's really, you've been put here for a reason, and you're in this position for a reason. I realized that it was, I had to follow my promptings, and that was to go stand there, even if I stand there alone, and stand there at the most sacred place on earth, and say those words that your people are my people. Where you go, I will go. Where you die, I will die, and there I shall be buried. I think it is important today that we make those statements.
Let me expand on that thing you said at first about that Archduke Ferdinand thing. That kicked off World War I. It was a bloody mess. You see a trigger to a World War III coming up?
I don't know about World War III. I hope not, Pat. But I mean, you guys have been leading this call for quite a while. I really think you guys are the only people that are saying it besides me, and that is, this is evil of what's happening in the Middle East right now. What's happening in Iran is evil. And I really believe that there is a caliphate in the works, and it is intent on overthrowing Israel first and the Western way of life. Earlier this week, Iran said that they had no choice but to annihilate the little Satan of Israel. They have no choice, one of their brigadier generals said this week. So, I mean, we're going to either learn from the past and deal with it and be different people and make the right choice, or we're going to bury our heads in the sand, and it will lead to exactly the same things that happened earlier in the last century.
You know, I spoke out about that caliphate, and I've done it before. There's no question that that's the goal of these people, but you really get a firestorm of media criticism in the United States when you speak out against militant Islam. It's just incredible. Why do you think that is?
Look, because we're living in a world that doesn't want to face the truth. There's a great book, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's by Eric Lawson. It's out now, The Garden of the Beast, I think it is. And it is about the early history of Germany and how it relates to our American ambassador. And when you see what the Germans and the American press did to anyone that spoke out against Nazi Germany at the time, they were pilloried and ridiculed and dismissed and sometimes killed. I don't think that we are, we're not at that point, but we are in a world that is making the same exact mistakes. I don't believe that that Muslims are evil. I don't believe that all Muslims are trying to kill everybody that disagrees with them. But I do believe there are those Muslims that do believe that. I do believe that there are those regimes, and Iran is one of them, that would behead everyone that steps out of line with the distorted view of their religion. That's who you need to stand against. And I know, I personally have Muslim friends that I stand shoulder to shoulder with against evil like that.
Do you suppose the Israelis are going to take action? I mean, if we listened to what Hitler said in Mein Kampf, he laid it all out, what his plan was, my struggle, but we ignored it. We just said it's the ravings of this little paper hanger. What about Ahmadinejad? Do you think these Israelis might take him so seriously they'll take action to curb his ambitions?
Pat, I know that back about 3 years ago, I interviewed Benjamin Netanyahu, and I said to him, "You're being set up. I mean, the Americans aren't going to move. The world won't move, and in the end, it'll be to you." And he said, "We have a right to live. We have a right to exist.
That's right.
If it means that we move in the end, we move in the end." I hope that somehow or another, let me put it this way. Somebody asked me, I was just in Israel, and they said, "How does this all end?" And I said, well, let me tell you this. 2,000 years ago, Israel was going to be destroyed, and then it was going to rise again, and it would come up as dry bones, and nobody knew how that was going to work. I certainly couldn't have told you 90 years ago, how is this going to work? Wouldn't have had any clue. Yet it did. Nowhere in the scriptures is Israel destroyed.
That's right.
So I think it's going to stand. How it stands, what happens next, I have no idea, but fear the Lord. Fear the Lord, because he doesn't lose.
You brought a message to the Knesset. What did you tell those Jewish leaders?
They need to know that they're not alone, that there are millions of Americans and millions of people all around the world that are standing up with them and for them. I mean, that's really the message of restoring courage. It's not restoring courage in the Israelis. They get it. They get it. It's us finding that righteous Gentile or that righteousness in our heart that we will stand and do the right thing, and we will stand with them. The other message that I found that I needed to deliver to them, and I felt strangely saddened that I had to bring this message, and that is, believe in yourself. Israel needs to believe in themselves. They're starting to believe that maybe they're the bad guys, that they've done something. Stop believing the press done by the opposition. Believe in yourself.
Well, Glenn, thank you so much for being with us on the 7 o'clock. We appreciate you.
God bless you.
Best wishes, Godspeed, and what you're doing.
Thank you very much, Pat.
If you want to know more about restoring courage, go to our website, cbn.com, for details. We'll have more on the 700 Club right after this.
Still ahead, the 700 Club is going to the dogs. Vet Marty Becker shares his top tips for keeping your pet looking like a champ, with a little help from Blue and Ginger on today's 700 Club.
When you look in the mirror, can you imagine erasing years of aging?
That's what I used to look like.
Lifestyle Lift takes only about an hour. See the difference immediately.
I'm Linda. I'm 70 years old. Can you believe it?
Call now for a free information kit. It's quick, affordable, and takes only about an hour. Lifestyle Lift, a breakthrough medical procedure that helps remove wrinkles, frown lines, and sagging skin. Call now for a free information kit. Consultations are free. Call Lifestyle Lift today.
Remember the feeling you had when you drew a hot bath, sat down in the tub, and let the warm water wash away the cares of the day? Well, for many people, the luxury of taking a bath has become a thing of the past, as age and mobility issues have robbed them of one of life's simple pleasures. Let the Design for Seniors Safe Step walk-in tub get you back in the water again, safely and affordably. And start to feel like your old self again without the risk or fear of injury. This American-made tub features a dual hydro-massage therapy system, a less than 4-inch step-up, and a wider door for easier and safer entry. The Design for Seniors Safe Step walk-in tub comes with a lifetime warranty, and it fits right into your existing standard tub space so you can stay in the home you love.
Call 1-888-774-4987 for special helping hand rebates up to $750, and the first 30 callers get a free safety package. That's 1-888-774-4987. Rebates are limited. Call now.
Well, I have with me Blue. Blue just wanted to say hello, and Blue has got 2,400 people on his Facebook. Hey, Blue, come here. All right, do something for me. No, I'll give you that in a minute. All right, come here. All right, Blue, jump. Jump. No, come on. Jump. Oh, you're not doing it. I haven't got enough room to jump. Hey, you like that, don't you? I think the vet brought you something good. All right, sit down. Sit. Now lie down. Lie down. There. Okay. Attaboy. Okay. Well, they don't come with an owner's manual. You've got to learn, and we've got a gentleman who wrote one called Your Dog, the Owner's Manual, Dr. Marty Becker. And Dr. Becker's here with us if he can walk over Blue. So, Doctor, we got the next best thing. So take a look. Here you go.
Dr. Marty Becker is known as America's veterinarian. He says many dog lovers really don't know everything they need to about their dogs. For over 30 years, he's been helping pets and the people who love them. He's been a popular contributor to ABC's Good Morning America for 10 years and is the resident veterinarian on the Dr. Oz Show. He's offered tips to dog owners from how to give your dog a bath to how to give your dog a pill. In his book, Your Dog, the Owner's Manual, Dr. Becker gives insider information on how to have a healthy, well-behaved dog.
We have with us Dr. Marty Becker. He's the expert. And Doctor, what do you think of Blue? Isn't he sweet?
I love this dog. You know, I used to say there's only one greatest pet in the world and every family has it, but I've got to know Blue pretty good this morning. He has a real nice, gentle, kind manner. And
it's because his owner is so gentle. He is a nice dog.
Well, you know, I know he's about 10 months old.
That's right.
And the first year of a dog's life is equivalent to about 18 human years.
Yeah.
So that's like, you know, all of us that have had children, that's like the terrible twos and the teenage years in 1 year. So the oral fixation, they want everything in their mouth, want to chew. Of course, they're rambunctious. They're a little more destructive. And
he chewed up his bed yesterday. How do you stop? When do they stop chewing?
Well, there's two kinds of chewing. There's constructive chewing and destructive chewing.
All right.
The destructive chewing is the armoire, the corner of his bed things. They love to teeth when they're younger because their teeth are coming in.
Okay.
And so you want to give them things that are constructive chewing.
Okay.
And so like this is a dentist stick here, a pedigree dentist stick, and that's something that's proven to reduce plaque and tartar.
Wonderful.
So if you give them that, or you take a Kong and you put dog food inside of it and you freeze it, we call it a Kong sickle. All those things are good for oral health, but they also satiate them as well.
How often do you feed these dogs? I feed them a couple times a day. What's the rule?
50% of America's dogs are overweight or obese. So the thing you do not want to do is feed free choice. That is absolutely taboo. These dogs are scavengers, and in the wild, when they came across a carcass, they ate, you know, till they were, it might be enough to last 2 or 3 days. So you want to precisely measure out how much food you feed. And we're going to talk about a little bit later, actually not feed in food bowls. I actually want you to feed in what's called food puzzles. So it recreates the hunt in the home.
Really?
So I don't know how long it takes Blue to eat. Most dogs like this will eat in 30 seconds to 3 minutes. Does he eat fast?
No, he takes long. He's longer.
Oh, perfect. Because you want it to take anywhere from 30 minutes to 90 minutes to eat. And you know, one of the things about people, if I told you about the furry fountain of youth, the two things you can do, one is to keep them at or near their ideal body weight, and that's about what he's going to weigh at a year of age.
Right.
And so you want to make sure that they're panting tired every day. So you want them to exercise, and that not only keeps them, you know, physically healthy, but also keeps them mentally healthy as well.
It's good for the owner too to get up and go.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, when you start exercising with people, it tends to, you know, we start out with great vigor, then after a few weeks, somebody's got a deadline, somebody's sick, somebody's going on vacation, but you know, Blue never has a better offer come along.
That's right.
And when he's used to walking at, let's say, 4 p.m. every day, he makes your life miserable unless you get off the floor and out the door and go for that walk.
That's right. Well.
Any
other tips?
And well, one of the things about walking dogs is, you know, when you have a collar like this, dogs tend to pull you. So it's like a dog on the outskirts of Nome delivering vaccine where you're pulling on. So there's some things. There's something called the Gentle Leader Easy Walk harness that fits around their chest, and it actually clips underneath their chest right here rather than over the back. 60% of a dog's weight is on their front legs, so if you control their forward momentum, you control where they walk. It's kind of like power steering. And another thing, there's now DNA testing for mixed breed dogs. So before, you know, my dad, my late father Bob, used to call them mutts. Or Heinz 57. I call them a canine cocktail, but you can use the Wisdom Panel MX test, get a small blood sample from your veterinarian, and with 95% accuracy, you can tell exactly what the breed makeup is. So we have a little dog at home that when we bought it was told it was a Papillon Poodle Yorkie cross, and when we had it genetics tested, it was actually a Pomeranian Chihuahua cross. But besides being just coffee table conversation is what is the breed makeup of that canine cocktail, then your veterinarian can be on the lookout for certain conditions that are prevalent in that breed, or we start to understand the behaviors more.
He's a purebred Doberman. What do these things have?
Well, here's something. There's other genetics tests. I'm a graduate of Washington State University College of Veterinary Medicine. Dobermans have cardiomyopathy, enlargement of hearts. It's in certain lines of Dobermans, and there's actually a genetics test. Only costs about $70.
Yeah.
But we can tell if this dog has the genetic predisposition to have cardiomyopathy, and if he does, then we're able to do steps ahead of time to kind of mitigate the problem. And
well, they have arthritis, don't they? They have hip problems.
yeah, and most arthritis in dogs is related to obesity.
Oh, it is.
Now, certain breeds, I was talking to some of the people here on the crew that have labs. Certain breeds have more arthritis than other dogs. But the number one thing you can do is keep your pet lean. Not Humane Society lean, where somebody's going to call because its ribs are showing, and your dog right now is at its ideal body weight, and it's a lot easier when they're.
He's lean. He doesn't eat a whole lot. He's pretty. All right, Blue. I know you had enough of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want one more here? Now, see, by this kind of thing, you're going to give him a treat, and I was pretty tickled at your sit,
Blue, sit. No, sit.
There you go. There you get your treat. Oh, he's a sweet dog. But if you keep him, and the other thing I want you to do that's different than what you've probably been, well, maybe you haven't been doing it. Do you bathe your dog?
No.
Okay. The number one reason people take pets to the vet is skin problems. Number one reason. And we were taught in the past that if you bathe them, you're going to dry their skin out. We now know this dog is basically a Swiffer with 4 legs. If you use a Swiffer on your tile or wood floors and you get all that stuff on there and you think, oh, this is gross, that just keeps accumulating on this dog's coat. So they want to scratch, they want to lick, they want to chew. That's where a lot of these ear problems, the ear infections come from. So by bathing a dog once a week, you flush these allergy triggers off the dog. So daily oral care, bathe your dog once a week.
Okay.
And keep it at its ideal body weight, and this dog's going to live 30% longer. That's an average of 4 years.
Well, you're going to live. If you keep eating that stuff, you're going to get sick. Huh?
It's going to keep those teeth nice and white. And
okay. Well, Blue, will you say goodbye to the doctor? Blue, sit up. Come on. No, you want to sit on the floor and eat.
He wants to eat that stuff.
Yeah, he's happy. All right. I'll tell you what, Blue, you go over and talk to Chris, all right? Hey, Blue, get up.
He's relaxed. He's taking it easy.
Yeah.
It's a dog's life.
Yeah, well, he's got it pretty good, but he's a nice dog, isn't he?
Oh, I love him. Absolutely love him. And if I was his veterinarian, he'd be one of my favorite dogs coming in.
Well, say no, you're not gonna get any more of those things. That's enough.
That's it, kid.
You've had enough. Doctor said you're not supposed to get fat.
Yeah, you're a good dog, aren't you? Sweet.
All right, yeah. Blue. All right, one more time. Show off. Come here. Jump. All right, jump over here. Jump. Attaboy.
That's good on a slick floor. That's good.
All right, go see Chris. There. Go and see Chris. Come on. Thank you, sir. Well,
Thank you, my friend.
He's got a little teeny one over there for you. You're going to join Christy right now. The doctor's Marty Becker's book is called Your Dog, the Owner's Manual. It's available where books are sold. Good tips.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Pat. Doctor, it is so wonderful to see you. I'm trying.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, too. Well, it's so funny. Pat and I kind of have this, little tit for tat because I think he thinks that his dog is a real dog, but he didn't think that my dog is a real dog. But she is a real dog, even though she looks like a stuffed animal. Her name is Ginger. She's a cockapoo.
I love her. I got to meet her, too, in the green room, and she gives great kisses. I love this dog.
She does. She does.
Sweet
well,
dog,
there's a difference between bigger dogs and smaller dogs. So let's, what are some of the differences in terms of how to take care of your small dog?
Well, first of all, since the time we were little kids, we used to having a food bowl and a water bowl.
Yeah.
I want you to throw your food bowls out.
Huh.
Period. Yeah. I want you to feed all the dogs with food puzzles. So some examples of food puzzles are like this. I think you call them Weeby Wobbles, or what are the things used for kids you knock down, they come back.
They don't fall down.
This Kong wobbler's like this. The food gets loaded inside, and depending on how they knock it around, the food comes out this little chamber. Another one called a Kong Genius. Here's another one from Premier called Tug a Jug. So the kibble actually goes inside, and the dog will actually pull it and pull the kibble out so they eat. Yeah. And there's a little Kong with stuffed with something in here, so the dog will work on this and chew. But it can take a dog anywhere from 30 minutes to 90 minutes to eat.
Sure.
So you're kind of recreating the hunt in the home in a non-lethal way, but it doesn't just feed their body, it feeds their mind. It's an enrichment activity.
Yeah, well, one of the things I wondered too is I always wondered, how do you know when to feed your dog? Like, is it just 3 meals a day, or is it one of those? Do you give them this toy so that they can be grazers? So that how does that work?
What you want to do, the most important thing is to measure out precisely how much food you should feed each day.
Really?
And then the more you divide it, if you're home and you're able to split up into 4 portions versus, say you give 1 cup a day.
Yeah.
If you give a 1/4 cup 4 times a day versus a 1/2 cup twice a day, they'll actually lose more weight. So people that are battling an obesity problem in pets, it's best to feed them multiple times a day.
Interesting.
But always use food puzzles. Now, the second thing that's really important is daily oral care.
Now, I didn't know about this because I knew that, as humans, we're supposed to brush our teeth, but I didn't realize that we're supposed to brush our dog's teeth.
Well, I'm going to talk about good, better, best here. Because the best is brushing your pet's teeth, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. But you want to take advantage of a dog's natural tendency to chew. So that's the better part. So you can use, like Hill's Prescription Diet TD is like edible toothbrushes. You see greenies or dentist sticks advertised a lot of times. Those are clinically proven to reduce plaque and tartar by 80%. So there's other things you may have used since the time you were a child that you think, I'm going to give them this kind of a treat, or I'm going to give them a pencil rawhide like they're using.
I was going to say, this is what I always give Ginger, and it said on the pack that it's a dental, it helps their teeth, and so.
The easiest thing to put on a package is veterinary recommended. The hardest thing to ever get is actually a veterinary recommendation. These products are actually clinically proven to reduce plaque and tartar. So also there's a little product here called Oravet. That's a dental sealant that you can actually just wipe on their teeth once a week, and it prevents the plaque and tartar from adhering. So here's the key here. You got to use a pet toothpaste because it has to be something that's made to be swallowed and it doesn't foam up. Plus, it's in flavors like salmon and chicken that they like and we don't like.
I was about to say, I'm like, yum.
So first of all, this dog has never had his teeth brushed, right?
Her teeth, no.
Her teeth, okay. So I'm going to show you how to do it. The first thing you do is you grab right here on the corner of the mouth. And you just brush right here like this. And that's all you do for the first time. And say, "Dude's a good dog, Ginger. Oh, that's a good dog." Now, don't make it a long time with the first time. And so it's a taste they like. And they'll come over here to the other side. I'll show you again. Just come up here and brush like, hold on, sweetie.
I don't think she's feeling it.
Hold on, sweetheart. Hold on. Just like this. Okay, that's a good dog. You don't want to fight them on it.
Gotcha.
And then praise them, give them a little greenie, something as a treat, and say good job, and that's it.
Okay, so what is that, every day, every couple days?
At least if you do it 2 to 3 times a week. At home, I swear to you, we brush our dog's teeth every day. That's ideal. We just got a shelter dog last year for Christmas time. So this dog had never had his teeth brushed. It took us 2 or 3 days. It fought like this the first time. 2 or 3 days later, they're sitting there waiting for the teeth to be brushed. So don't give up.
Good. All right, now I know that you mentioned well, actually, not the bathing net, but what the Groominator. The reason why
the number one pet owner complaint is excessive shedding. There's a great product called the Furminator.
Oh, the Furminator.
I love this name.
Okay.
So all dogs are going to shed. We just want them to shed at a time and place of our choosing. So of our dogs, I do this in the yard in the summertime because I don't care if the hair gets out in the grass. In the wintertime, I do it in a garage or a basement room. But you just take this.
And you kind of shocked me because you said all dogs shed, and I know that sounds strange, but I always she is a breed that I have to get her groomed because she doesn't shed, but I guess even if they say they don't, they do.
They do. And you'll see here, just that little thing. See all the hair that's on that brush there? So that hair right there, that's going to end up in your house.
Somewhere.
Or on your clothes or in your car. So we're using that Furminator. This hair comes out, throw it in the trash can so it's not in your house.
Gotcha. One of the things you mentioned to Pat was that, back in the day, we thought that you didn't want to bathe your animals because of the oils, to keep their natural oils. But you say about once a week. So are there certain tricks?
Number one reason people take pets to the vet is skin problem. The number one thing you can do is to bathe them more frequently. Use a shampoo as recommended by your veterinarian. There's a nice fragrant shampoo. There's an oatmeal shampoo that's good for sensitive skin. Here's a product we use at home called Malacat. And that's by Dermapet. And that's actually for when you have staph or a fungal infection.
All right.
But I want you to use the 3-towel trick. So the first towel is the anti-skid towel. So you put that in the bottom of the bathtub or the sink you're going to wash them in, and you pre-fill it with a little bit of water in there. And then what you do is you take this and you pre-fill the water so it's 1 part shampoo to 9 parts water. Okay. And so what you want to do is you first want to wet them down right around the neck. And that's if you have a flea or tick shampoo so that the fleas don't run up and get in their ears.
Gotcha.
So you do the neck first, don't do the head. So you wet their whole body down and get them all lathered up. And the second towel you use is the anti-shake towel. So if we're going between rinses here, you use it like kind of like a horse blanket.
Gotcha.
We can just use this one here. But what you do with this one, if we're in between sudsing, we're getting all sudsed up here.
I don't think she's feeling this.
You would cover them like a horse blanket.
Okay.
So that's why if I'm going over here to get some other shampoo, if they're going to shake, it's going to come on them. And the third towel is an anti-drying towel.
All right. Now, you were talking about the anti-shake. Now, tell me why we don't want the dogs to shake, because I thought that we do want them to shake.
Well, you don't want them to shake on you or get all over the tub, but I want to show you something here.
Okay.
If we get them nice and wet.
All right.
You save the head till last.
All right.
Okay. If they start to, when they go to start shaking, they're going to start shaking dry. If you grab right on the end of the nose like this, it instantly stops them. So you're doing something and the dog starts to shake dry before you dry it off, just grab them right on the end of the nose like this, and if they can't start with their head, they can't shake dry.
Okay, and it doesn't hurt her.
So we're going to finish you shampooing, but by doing this again, you're flushing the allergy triggers off the dog. You end up going to the vet a lot less often.
Fantastic. Okay. Let's warm. I feel bad.
We'll get you all dried off here.
All right. Well, Dr. Becker's book is called Your Dog, the Owner's Manual. And I wish I was as good as Pat, who could have her, jump and do all those tricks. But pretty much, I think her only true gift is that she's cute.
She gives good kisses. I tell you that. She gives good kisses.
I haven't been able to teach her a lot of stuff. Well, listen, we also have a wonderful web exclusive for you online. Check this out. Blue, he's a dog of many talents, and one of his many talents is that he's actually going to be interviewing Dr. Becker. I know, you got to see it to believe it, but he's awesome. Almost as awesome as Ginger. I say nothing. Okay, so go to cbn.com, click on the In the Green Room link, or you can always go to Blue's Facebook page, because I can't even remember. I think it's thousands of friends he has right now. So, and that's just Facebook.com, and it's Blue Notes. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend.
I appreciate you. And Ginger, Blue,
there we go.
She just said us. All right. Pat, over to you. Okay.
Okay. Well, she's a cute little dog. Okay. And Blue promises he won't eat her. All right. But you can, Blue's got 2,400 Facebook friends, and he really will talk to you. So if you want somebody to communicate with you, you just get involved in Blue's Notes, and he's on Facebook. Well, we have a fact sheet available online. It's called Secrets to Raising a Happy, Healthy Dog. To download your free copy, just go to cbn.com. Still ahead, we've got email questions. Ruth says, when I leave the house, my pets go crazy. What can I do to calm them down? Well, we'll try to answer that after this.
My name is Roger Stump, and I'm a cancer survivor. The surgeon said it's inoperable. It's already in your liver. My wife Brenda sat there and cried, and I'm thinking, I can't die right now. I'm only 52 years old. I was so distraught. I've heard Cancer Treatment Centers of America had experience with pancreatic cancers. It was like night and day. The hospital just breeds an environment of hope. You'd get a CT scan, and the next morning, the results were read to you. We'd go up there, I just knew it was going to be a good result. You could just see the joy on Dr. Granick's face.
Call now and we'll show you how the most compassionate people anywhere put you at the center of everything we do. Together, we'll explore real treatment options you may not even know exist.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is such a different place because they give you hope. I would strongly urge you to call them and get a second opinion.
Please call today.
Welcome to Washington for this CBN News Break. A federal judge has dismissed a lawsuit that would have ended the Obama administration's funding of embryonic stem cell research. Some have opposed it because it relies on destroyed human embryos. The lawsuit claimed that the research violated the 1996 law that prohibits taxpayer financing for work that harms an embryo. Dr. David Prentice with the Family Research Council says it's disappointing that Judge Lamberth reversed his earlier decision and ruled in favor of the Obama administration. He still hopes an appeal would stop the funding. Well, 1 month from today, the nation's capital will unveil a new attraction on the National Mall, the first memorial to honor an African American. The tribute to the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. won't officially open until the dedication ceremony, but some religious groups have been getting a sneak peek. This week, the National Black Catholic Joint Conference, made up of priests, deacons, and nuns, got a chance to tour the site. It features symbols and quotes from King's speeches and sermons. The $120 million project will be dedicated at its new home along the Tidal Basin on August 28th, the 48th anniversary of King's famous I Have a Dream speech. Well, you can always get the latest from CBN News by going to our website at cbnnews.com. Pat and Christy will be back with more of the 700 Club right after this.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, call now for a new pain-free meter. These new meters are more accurate, they're easier to use, and the best news is you don't have to prick your fingers anymore. Call now and Arriva Medical will send you one of these new meters for free. And if you have Medicare, your testing supplies may also be covered. Arriva makes it simple. They bill Medicare directly. There are no upfront costs. And they deliver your supplies right to your door for free. With these new meters, there's no coding, you don't have to prick your fingers, and some of these meters even talk.
Your blood glucose reading is 122.
Call 1-800-284-4105. We will send you a free Betty Crocker Diabetes Cookbook filled with delicious recipes.
Call Arriva today. You'd be glad you did.
When you look in the mirror, can you imagine erasing years of aging?
That's what I used to look like.
Lifestyle Lift takes only about an hour. See the difference immediately.
I'm Linda. I'm 70 years old. Can you believe it?
Call now for a free information kit. It's quick, affordable, and takes only about an hour. Lifestyle Lift, a breakthrough medical procedure that helps remove wrinkles, frown lines, and sagging skin. Call now for a free information kit. Consultations are free. Call Lifestyle Lift today.
Tomorrow,
We're waiting. Go, go, go.
meet the Duggar family.
I have to go to all the bathrooms and get the laundry.
All 21 of them.
I never dreamed in a million years that all this would happen.
Go behind the scenes with the stars of 19 Kids and Counting.
It's been a lot of hard work, but much joy, much, much joy.
Tomorrow on the 700 Club. This week on 700 Club Interactive.
Well, it is summertime, prime time for Vacation Bible School. And just in time for this next little girl in our story. She had a bad temper and a bad habit of lying until what she learned at her Vacation Bible School that changed her life forever. Take a look.
Ijorma lives with her parents and brothers in Jos, Nigeria. Her father's a professor and her mother teaches at a local Christian school. But growing up in a Christian home didn't stop Ijorma from slipping up occasionally.
I used to shout at my brothers because they make me angry, and I used to lie so that I won't be punished. I felt God felt bad and sad with me.
Lectures from her mother didn't change Ijorma's behavior.
So we prayed, trusting God that there would be a change.
Right around that time, Ijorma's school started using a Vacation Bible School kit, Superbook DVDs, and other materials provided by CBN. The program taught the kids about trusting in Jesus and living a godly life. The classes helped Ijorma realize that God didn't want her to have a bad attitude.
Even though our sins are much, God can still forgive us.
Ijorma started being nice not just to her brothers, but everyone around her.
Anytime I wanted to shout at my brothers or lie, Jesus would tell me not to. The lesson I learned from the summer school has also helped me to change the life of other children.
Ijorma is one of many children whose lives have been touched by Superbook and other resources produced and provided by CBN.
Thank you, CBN.
Look at that cute little girl. And you know what I love is that her life was changed because of you, and now other children's lives are changed because of you. Man, oh man, oh man, the difference that you can make when you just show love. It's the coolest thing in the whole wide world. And one of the ways that you can do and help out a person is by giving to CBN. I know it's awesome. For just 65 cents a day, $20 a month, you can change a child's life, a family's life, a village life, either by bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ to them or by showing the love of Jesus by giving them food or clothing or what have you. You can make that difference. So if you already are a CBN partner, can I just say thank you so much? We really, really appreciate you. But if you're not, why not just take this opportunity to become one today? Don't let the moment pass you by. All you have to do is just pick up the phone. You can call 1-800-759-0700. You can always log on to CBN.com. And you know what's so cool about when you call right now? we want to bless you. And we want to bless you with this series that both Pat, I was going to say Pat and Gordon, you did some teaching on here, but they're stories. Yeah, absolutely.
Stories
they're amazing stories.
Yeah, that's right.
Talk about life-changing stories of people who've died and actually gone to heaven or hell and come back to tell about it. These aren't just, they're not fictional stories. They're real, and they will change your life. And check this out. It's our gift to you when you call. So once again, it's Life Beyond the Grave. It's yours. And if you actually become a 1,000 Club partner, we're going to give you a couple extra so that you can take one, give some to your neighbors.
Amen.
Can't get better than that.
Okay.
All right, Pat.
Questions?
You ready?
I'll let you know if you answer.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we've had our chat room open throughout the entire program, and so we're going to start with Ruth, who wrote in and says, when I leave the house, my pets go crazy. I call it missing mommy syndrome. What can I do to calm them down? What do you think?
Well, they use that term separation anxiety, which is probably a lot of baloney. But in any event, your dog needs a lot of energy, and it shows. The problem is you got that beast in the house all day long, all locked up. And they're lonely. So you take off 9 in the morning, 8 in the morning, you come back at 5 in the afternoon, so that dog's there all day long. And what do? Well, they don't do much of anything except tear your house up. So what you need to do is to get that dog more exercise. If you have to hire somebody to take it out and walk it, you need something, as the doctor was saying, at least 30 minutes of exercise. That's number one. Number two, you need... there's a training collar that you can work on a dog to get it to behave itself. Of course, in a short period of time, you can't do this all day, but for a few hours you can leave a dog in a crate, and if the dog, they have commercial crates, and they can stay in that, and if they yip and yap, that's too bad, and after a while they'll learn they got to be quiet. But that's a tough one, and the best thing is exercise. And serious training. So you say, that's not acceptable behavior, and you've got to teach them that. Okay.
Okay, next question from Colin and Sharon. It says, it's obvious that you and Blue are great pals. How does your wife, I love this question, deal with such a large dog in the house, especially one who eats his own bed? How does Dee Dee hang?
She does not like what Blue does. She is a great dog lover, but this dog... She was, we have some little hedges around some flowers, and she was out cutting some flowers, and I taught Blue to jump, and so he comes running and leaps over this hedge and hits her in the side of the head. So I said, honey, you've got to show the dog that you are the alpha male. So I said, we're going to have a lesson. I'm going to train you to be assertive. You've got to teach him. He will not. They will not attack the alpha male.
And how did Dee Dee respond to that?
Well, she didn't get active enough. I said, now, do what I tell you. I said, stop. And she wouldn't listen to me. So, but you have to be assertive. And a dog wants a master who is calm and who knows what's going on, just like a horse. A horse wants the same thing. The rider, they want to feel comfortable that the rider knows what he's doing. And if he doesn't, the horse will be all nervous. Same with the dog. The dog, you have to assert yourself, or the dog's going to assert himself over you. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to teach my wife to be the alpha male, and it's tough because she's very sweet.
Well, God bless her.
She had a poodle. The poodle was cool.
That's because poodle was cute little poodle, right?
No, it was a big poodle. It was a standard poodle, big poodle. But she didn't have a job. But Blue is so enthusiastic. He comes leaping and loves her and jumps on her. and today she's going to knock me down.
Well,
he would never do that to me.
Well,
he would never jump on me because I'm the alpha male.
Well, because you're the alpha male. Maybe she needs to learn how to go, whoa, 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 back at her.
That's it. I'm trying to teach her, but
all right.
I have to train her to be the alpha male so she can teach the dog she's the alpha male. Okay.
I got you. Joyce asks, with the U.S. facing a debt crisis, should I cash in my savings bonds now? That's a good question.
Oh, you're probably going to pay a tax penalty. Savings bonds are awful investments, just absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And so they probably got a penalty if you cash them in, so... you've lost your money already, so you might as well just ride with it. Unless you've got a good investment. I don't know how much savings bonds you've got. I don't know what it's involved in, what percentage of your holdings or anything, but savings bonds are an absolute dreadful investment. Dreadful. I mean, you can feel all patriotic and warm inside that I helped the war effort back when we were fighting the Germans and the Japanese. But right now, no way, no way. So there are bonds and there are stocks that pay incredible dividends. I love these master limited partnerships that have gas pipelines and things like that, and they pay wonderful dividends. Something like Kinder Morgan, for example, just keeps on paying, the stock keeps going up. Much better, maybe 2 or 3 times what you can get on government securities. So, okay, next.
Next question. Here's one from AMD who says, recently my husband had surgery and doctors botched his operation. Is it right for Christians to sue them? What do you think?
Listen, that doctor has insurance. And the insurance is to cover malpractice. And so you say he botched it. If it really was malpractice, then he is covered in order to pay for something like this. So I just think you don't have bitterness. You're like, I want to get that dirty so-and-so for what he did to me. If you have that, you'll be hurt. But the idea that you set up a procedure to get the insurance company to pay, and they'll fight, they won't pay, they'll give you all this stuff. So you see that commercials, they tell them you mean business.
Yeah.
Calvas and Knockman, whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to get a lawyer to tell the insurance company you mean business, you're not playing around. But normally speaking, if you can do it peacefully, the insurance company knows they're liable, and they'll pay without having a big hassle.
Yeah, this next question, I think it's very, very interesting because I know it's a debate back and forth. Brett says, does God have someone in mind for me to marry, and how do I know when I find her? Do you think there's one person for someone, or do you think that you have a choice?
The Bible says God puts the lonely together in families. By the way, you having any offers?
Do I have any offers?
I mean,
I have friends.
Well, you're a charming young lady, nice little boy, cute little dog.
Cute little dog.
Little house.
Nice house.
You're loaded with money.
Well, I'll receive it.
I
have friends, but one day.
Knocking at your door. But does God have somebody? I think the Lord can bring you the perfect person, but don't be looking for perfection. Look for the partner that will complement you, and I think God has it. Okay, what's next?
That was good. Martin says the Bible, you threw me with a question, but Martin says the Bible refers to say the word. Nephilim, who are described as the sons of God and the daughters of men. Who are they? And do they still walk the earth today?
I don't think so, but I've read a book that indeed they're out there and they're having children. The sons of God were angels, but I think they were fallen angels, and they looked upon the daughters of men and found that they were fair, and so they went into them and had babies with them. They had sex with women, and out of them grew a race of giants. That's what the Bible says. The Anak, the Anakim, and the Nephilim are these descendants of these fallen angels. So are they still walking the earth today? I doubt it, but there's some who write big treatises about the Nephilim. I don't think we know that much about them, but that's what the Bible has to say. The sons of God found the daughters of men and found that they were fair, and then they had babies.
Crazy.
Giants.
Crazy.
And the giants in the land, the Anakim.
Yeah.
I think Goliath was one of those Nephilim types. Well,
I'm saying, like, is it interesting?
It is interesting.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, a young woman whose body was riddled with tumors. See how she was miraculously healed. Today we leave with these words from Philippians. My God will meet all your needs according to his glorious riches in Christ Jesus. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, Blue. Thank you, Ginger. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you.
See you. All right. Bye-bye.
Tomorrow,
We're waiting. Go, go, go.
meet the Duggar family.
I have to go to all the bathrooms and get the laundry.
All 21 of them.
I never dreamed in a million years that all this would happen.
Go behind the scenes with the stars of 19 Kids and Counting.
It's been a lot of hard work, but much joy, much, much joy.
Tomorrow on the 700 Club.
Here at CBN, we see amazing things happen when we stand together.
That's why we want to say thank you to the thousands of you who
recently pledged to join the 700 Club.
Your monthly gift makes it possible to bring crucial help to those who need it most.
You help heal the sick, feed the hungry,
and preach the gospel across America and throughout the world.
You've brought health and hope to people in desperate need
and changed their lives forever.
When Kitty was abandoned by her parents, she went to live with her grandmother in the middle of a garbage dump. They ate scraps of food from the dump and tried not to get bitten by the rats. That's when you built them a new home and set up a small clothing business near the market for Kitty's grandmother. You rescued them from hunger and fear.
So please, watch for this mailing and send in your pledge. This year, millions will know
the love and saving power of Jesus Christ.
And that only happens because you were there.